What's up, Taurus? This is Soul from Intuitive Tarot, here to look at your week ahead starting December 1st, 2025. My bulls, I hope all is well. Hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Welcome any new subscribers to my channel. I definitely appreciate you. The deck I am using will be listed in the description box. Just want to cleanse the energies real quick. I'm doing Aries messages for the week, and I'm about to see what is in store for Taurus. All right, give me all the messages here for Taurus this week. What can I tell Taurus? What is the energy surrounding my bulls? Okay, coming off of a major holiday. What can we expect this week as we move towards the next major holiday, which is my favorite, Christmas of all holidays? All right, energies for Taurus. Okay, here we go, Taurus, with the cut. And for you, we're going to start off with the first card in energy. Okay, you got your own energy that represents. So this is the Hierophant that represents you, Taurus. So it doesn't really matter what comes after that Hierophant, because this is the most powerful card in your reading. Anytime the card that represents you, the major arcana that comes through that represents you, means that the reading that I'm about to give you is going to be twice as strong. And it doesn't, and that's in a good way, not a bad way. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So you start off with the major arcana, the Hierophant. Typically it's the card of spiritual projection, spiritual energy, anything in terms of enlightenment or epiphanies occurring, synchronicities when it comes to any types of events, angelic numbers that you see repetitively, teaching and learning. This could be also on-the-job training for someone, and also someone could be getting married. If it's not this week, maybe sometime in the future. All right, so that's the major arcana, the Hierophant. Up next, now we have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands here, even though, it's a traveling card here. We just came off of a major holiday. Some of you still may be traveling, but if you are traveling, you're going to be safe to and from, but also, too, there could be some sort of positive energy, Taurus, that you move towards this week, or positive energy is about to move towards you. You can also attach victory and success to almost anything that's going on for you this week. That would be the Six of Wands. Up next, now we have the Justice card, another major arcana. So justice being served, balanced energy here, feeling justified. Anything that was not in your favor may turn around and be in your favor. This may be a week for some bulls that I'm referring to or reading for, having to exercise their freedom, liberation, exercising some sort of peace. Like I said, it's balanced energy. Any types of litigation, settlements, or anything like that you got going on, that also is going to be in your favor. All right. So following the major arcana, the Justice card, now we have the major arcana, the Magician. Two sides that I read of the Magician, right? So the positive side is manifesting your wants and your desires. So you have to have those little talks with yourself, Taurus. What is it that as we're approaching the new year, people, a lot of people do resolutions and whatnot. So what do you want to happen or occur in your life? Something that is different. Maybe enter into a marriage. Maybe for some of you, it could be a divorce. I'm just saying. And some of you, changing jobs, careers. That would still be if, you're in the form of prayers, mantras, or affirmation, the energy that, you continue to throw out to the universe or wherever your higher source of energy that you throw those energies out there to. Stay in alignment with that energy, Taurus. Walk away from it, acquire some sort of patience and faith, and knowing that it's eventually going to happen for you, right? That's all you need to do. On the negative end, I read this rabbit as an actual person. We still have to be careful of strangers. Yes, that includes family members, friends, and romantic partners as well, who are just in the industry of controlling, manipulating, and extracting. Just know the difference. Be very discerning. Like I said before, the Hierophant, which represents you, started your energy off. This here, I didn't think would just be a thing of the past. You guys are going to be too smart to let anybody do that energy to you. Five of Pentacles here. Could be for any bull that I'm worried, thinking about or reading about. I'm sorry. Who may have a little concern about their finances this week, coming up short. We're entering into that buying season. You know, everybody goes broke trying to make everybody else happy and shit, right? So it could be that, but it's just temporary if that's what you're experiencing. You know, but you also could, hopefully you're not involved in any types of ghosting anyone, because I do read this Five of Pentacles as someone could be ghosting you. You could be ghosting them when it comes to communication, but also too, because we are in this holiday season, you still could be the bull that turns around and donates your time and money to worthy charitable causes. Following that, now we have the Seven of Wands. Any actions or decisions, Taurus, that you have to carry out this week, follow through. This is a card of standing your ground. And if you stand your ground, follow through with the actions or decisions this week, you shouldn't have any problems. If you don't, this is a card, that comes through as a reminder of regrets, okay, for not following through. Following that, we have the Two of Pentacles. Here, you're juggling two things. Could be that you're working two jobs, got two things going on, interested in two things. Could be getting, or receiving a small pay raise. Could be just simply going through the week, balancing your checkbook. All right, so following that, here's the Devil. Okay, now you have received the Devil. Still, cross mirrors over here to the Hierophant, which again, anything that comes after that Hierophant, I'm not going to say it's mute or invalid, but it just makes your reading that much stronger. So any other negative energy that you may receive in the spread, there should be no worries here. But this Devil, I'm still going to read because it has its own source of power and energy. Specifically, it's underneath the Magician and could be on the negative end, where I talk about people who are that, we have to be careful of, who are just into controlling, manipulating, or extracting. And then it's the repetitiveness from the Devil, that energy of people always coming after you, trying to get that energy from you, right? So this is a card that always represents toxicity, having to actually have discussions with yourself, bring up that energy from the bottom of the surface to the top. Anything involving bad habits, like I mentioned before, could be toxic environments, your work, home, community, could be obsession, could be obsessing over a situation, person, or event. Could be just ruminating thoughts, anything in excess when it comes to pornography, any types of addictions. If it's not yours, it could be the people that you associate with. It could be your coworkers. It could be your family, your romantic partner, friends, who are drinking too much, smoking too much, having to do all that other crazy stuff, ruminating thoughts that you can't just seem to get out of your mind. It keeps cropping up, coming back. That's the Devil's stronghold on you. So you want to break the chain of the powerful force of this Devil. All right. All right, so on top of the Five of Pentacles here for you, Taurus, now we have the Nine of Swords. Now, you have received the Nine of Swords, and I think it was Aries that also received the Nine of Swords. And ironically, that Devil preceded the Nine of Swords. So the Devil was here, and then the Nine of Swords was here. So it may be a connection having to deal with some sort of unresolving, conflicting energies, whether or not it's in association with the Devil. But yeah, I think there's some sort of link here, possibly. This is always knowing some sort of suffering in silence, and any conflicting energies, inner conflict, external conflicts could be related to your distant or your recent past, seeking some sort of relief, through any means of prescription medications for, a high degree of anxiety or depression. Again, don't worry about it, because this is here to protect you throughout. All right. I'm just reading normally as if this was even here. So the Nine of Swords typically just refers to any types of betrayals, any types of deceits. I always throw SA in there. Could be sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, right? But it also could be the type of situation where it's just showing up in your spread, and you may have some sort of connection to someone who is dealing with their own restrictions or their own barriers. And oftentimes I read that it could be that somebody that is incarcerated. But I am going to throw a clarifier on this card here. Somebody could be, like I said before, seeking relief through prescription medication, non-prescription medication, and that could be drinking, smoking, or whatever you use to help you. This really has a lot to do with trust issues, maybe someone who has been disloyal to you, you know, somebody who definitely betrayed you in some shape or form. All right, so, but why did the Nine of Swords show up here for Taurus? Again, it may have a direct link to this devil that it mirrors. And then we have the negative end of the Magician. And that cross mirrors over here to that Magician. Having to fall prey or fall back into the trap of someone who is good at manipulating you. Okay? Controlling you, extracting from you. It's creating a lot of Nine of Swords energies. All right, let's see what's going on here. What could possibly... Nine of Wands. So, yeah, okay. I don't really know how to read that in terms of energy. I just feel that it could mean also that it's taking up a lot of your energy to, come to some sort of resolve. If it's, however, if it's dealing with your recent or your distant past. Maybe that's what I need to say, that it's taking a lot of your energy. Okay, it could also be a lot of your time in trying to remove what is hurting you, what is ailing you. You put a lot of energy into it. All right, I'll leave it at that. Keep in mind, it's just me coming up with, messages and stuff for you. All right, so on top of the Seven of Wands here for you, Taurus, we have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is a lot better than that Nine of Swords. So there is a situation, and it may be connected to the devil, the Nine of Swords, that's coming to an end. So maybe you come to some sort of resolve, because this Ten of Swords always fosters a situation is about to come to an end. New situation is about to open up or approach you. Also with the Ten of Swords, when it showed up in another sign that I read for, I forgot to mention, if it's not you, Taurus, maybe somebody that you know could be planning some sort of future inpatient or outpatient surgical procedures. They're going to feel the pain, but, Ten of Swords usually comes in to offer recovery as well as relief. On top of the Two of Pentacles here for you, Taurus, we got the Six of Swords. Six of Swords here represents, again, like the Six of Wands, something that you're moving towards, could be positive, or it's moving towards you, but also to an element that could all be connected to the Nine of Swords, the devil, negative energy that is leaving you slowly but surely. Things are calming down, smooth sailing, smooth passages. So again, like the Six of Wands, if you're traveling, you're going to be safe to and from. But normally with the Six of Swords, I always get that someone could be considering seriously of relocating to a different area or making a major move. On top of the devil here for you, we have the major arcana. Yeah, there we go. We have the major arcana of the sun to finish you off. So again, you got the sun that cross mirrors over here to your own energy. So this is the most powerful card in the tarot deck. So you have the Justice card, the Hierophant, Taurus, and now you complete with the sun, even though you have the devil. The sun just represents healing, emotional, physical, mental, if necessary, and then also blessings that can come in all forms. It is the card that represents the yes answer to any question that you may pose to yourself. It is the card that also represents feeling very childlike or energetic, feeling very successful. Could be the bull that I'm reading for. Of course, I always say that with the traveling cards. It could be traveling to Florida, California. It could be the bull that already lives in Florida, California, or traveling somewhere else. Where it's warm, warm, sunny, and welcoming, right? So you have the most positive card in the tarot deck, offering blessings, offering healing. Okay, you could be the bull that I'm reading for that works in the health industry. You could go through the week with the card of inpatient, outpatient surgical procedures that shows up here. Mirrors over here to the sun. There's the hospital. There's the energy. Yeah, like you could be the bull that works in the health industry, but this also would represent a hospital or it could be an outpatient facility for any inpatient or outpatient surgical procedures. It's a card of happiness. Okay, again, feeling strong, energetically, vibrant. All right. Shadow energy to finish your reading off. We're going to finish off with the major arcana, the moon. Okay, that could be significant. The moon, when it comes to these emotions, you know, how the energy of the moon, any types of, making sure that you're putting a check on your emotions this week, because I always say the moon is very, very fluid and it has a tendency to, be tricky at times, when it sends our emotional states up too high or down too low. We want to always strike a balance in the middle. Moon reveals stuff. So this is whatever was hidden or kept from you in terms of secrets, likes and crushes come forward when it comes to romance, now may become revealed. That's the moon's emphasis. The biggest thing, though, however, is the intuition aspect of the moon, making sure that you are paying attention to your intuition, because that moon is all about being very intuitive. All right, so you have to trust the process and what you feel the very first time. That's usually the correct answer, and just go with it. All right, and also too, when the moon shows up here, I always say, since it's so deep with emotions, relative to relationships, it could be that someone expresses that they're in love with you, falling in love with you. That could be you, expressing your energies to those people that are near and dear to you as well. All right. So, but I always get that feel with the moon. Very powerful. So again, stronger than the energy of the Ten of Swords when it comes to a cycle of completion ending. A new cycle is about to begin. All right, so this is what I have for you this week, Taurus. Just keep in mind it's me interpreting these messages here for you. Take only what's going to work for you. Leave the rest alone. Please, Taurus, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have a safe, great week ahead. Always come back here to get more of these messages from me, Taurus, and I'll talk to you real soon. Ciao.